Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Rational Wrestling Talk. This is the Rational Wrestling Mark coming back at you with the boldest Summerslam predictions for 2023. And I'm going to get right to the point. First things first, I will not be predicting any returns, okay? I don't know who's going to return this year, and, I don't know who's coming back. There's been a trend for every SummerSlam that, there's a superstar wrestler that returns. There's speculation of various names, but I'm not going to get into that. I want to watch this show strictly from a fan standpoint. I want to be a fan watching this show. So I really don't care who comes back until it happens. You get me? Like, I'm not going to believe it until it is on my TV screen. So just want to get that out the way and clear that up. Also, I also just want to predict that there will be no Money in the Bank cash-ins. That's what I'm predicting. Io Sky, Damian Priest won't be cashing in. I'm just going to say it right now. You may think differently. I think there will be no cash-ins at all at this SummerSlam. Personally, we need to build that up. We need to build up the Money in the Bank holders. We need to give Damian Priest more wins as the briefcase holder. Io Sky, same thing. I'm tired of these Money in the Bank holders always winning the briefcase, and then they go on to lose matches after match after match, right? They go on this losing streak for like 3-4 months. Then they win the world title. I'm tired of that. So let's just take our time with building up the Money in the Bank holders, Io Sky, Damian Priest. So let's get this in order. Let's go to the first match. First match, Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar. This feud has overstayed its welcome. I personally think if you watch my previous Rational Wrestling Talk discussion, I analyzed the feud between Brock and Cody. And I said that this feud needed the world title, right? If Cody had won the Undisputed Universal Championship, this feud would have been 100 times better. 100 times better. Instead, we got just run in the mill. These are two of the best in the world. You would think they would put out all the stops for this feud to make it mean something, make it more important. And this had the potential to be feud of the year. Now, the matches between Cody and Brock have been stellar. I'm expecting no different this Saturday between these two guys. It's just disappointing that we're not going to get a stipulation match. If we're not going to get an explanation as to why Brock attacked Cody, okay, fine. I still think we are owed an explanation, and they never actually filled that story gap. But the least they could have done was give this last final match a definitive send-off. Hell in a Cell could be a last man standing match, an I Quit, a street fight, whatever, steel cage, just something to properly send off this feud. Cody goes over. Clean, 1, 2, 3, no BS finish, no dusty finish, okay? Clean, 1, 2, 3. He probably hits multiple crossroads to get the victory. Cody goes over. and then Brock goes on vacation for 5 million years. Okay? So next, Ricochet versus Logan Paul. Now, when I look at this match, this is Ricochet's biggest match of his entire career, no doubt. This is the most important Ricochet has ever been since being on the main roster. He hasn't had a lot of success on the main roster. Even though he's a former IC champion, US champion, let's be honest, those title reigns were not memorable. Okay? They were nothing to brag about. Now, Ricochet is a stellar athlete. You know, he can go, he's the definition of whenever we need a hot opener for a pay-per-view or just for a show to like kind of get the fans in a frenzy, Ricochet is that guy to kind of get you excited, get you up out of your chairs and cheer and go crazy. Like, he is the best high flyer in the company. He is. And he has a purpose on the show. You know, he can do all the flippity-flip moves, and that's what he's known for. He's a spot fest wrestler, and he does that very well. That's his strength. On the mic, he can definitely work on getting better at talking, cutting promos. That's not his strong suit, but when it comes to entertaining the audience inside the ring and what he does from a match standpoint, he gets the job done. And I expect this match to be a banger. Logan Paul, within 1 year, has improved drastically. The best celebrity wrestler that we have ever had. He's picked this up so quick, and he's had stellar matches with Roman, Seth. I mean, he got a decent match out of The Miz, you know, and then he's had great spots with Ricochet, the Rumble, and Money in the Bank. As to who wins this match, Logan Paul is one of your top heels. I feel like him losing this match would not hurt him, right? It would definitely not hurt him, because whenever he comes back, he is still going to have that same heat. The fans just cannot stand him. The guy's a heat magnet. So if he were to lose, it's not going to hurt him, because he can always get that heat back. Ricochet, he could win here, because on Raw, Logan Paul had said about Ricochet's fiance that when I win the match, your fiance is going to announce me, Logan Paul, as the winner. Your fiance is going to be saying my name when I become the winner. So that little promo right there is leading me to believe that Ricochet can pull out the victory. Right? But because that Logan Paul, right? Logan Paul has not won a match since last year's SummerSlam. I'm pretty sure they would want to give Logan Paul a victory. So to continue the story and to kind of build up intrigue and to extend this feud, and hear Samantha Irvin, Ricochet's fiance, say, and your winner, Logan Paul. and she's kind of hesitating to say Logan Paul. She don't want to say it, right? Because she's mad, upset that her fiance lost, right? That her man lost to Logan Paul. So what I'm predicting here, ultimately, Logan Paul will pick up the win, but he'll cheat to win. He'll cheat the win. So they'll protect Ricochet with the loss, but Logan Paul will go over to kind of get him back momentum, put him back on a winning streak, because you're not going to have your biggest heel, one of your biggest heels, lose 3 times in a row. I mean, he lost to Seth Roman. He didn't win the Rumble. He didn't win Money in the Bank. Also, now he loses Ricochet. I don't think that's what they're going to do. They signed him to a new deal, new contract. So they value Logan Paul. It's obvious that they do value Logan Paul. So they give Logan Paul the win. He cheats to win, and we extend this feud for a couple more months. So Logan Paul gets the W. Moving on to the WWE Women's Championship triple threat match between Asuka, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair. Boy, oh boy, where do I begin with this one? Off rip, Asuka has been a background player. She's been the third wheel. The focus is clearly on Bianca and Charlotte. They're clearly building up a one-on-one match between Bianca and Charlotte. This kind of reminds me of John Cena versus Batista back in 2008, where you had 2 guys that were like the flagship wrestlers, of the company at that time period. They're the go-to. They were the top faces. They won their respective world titles against JBL and Triple H at WrestleMania 21. They were dubbed as the 2 biggest names, right? So when they wrestled at Summerslam 2008, it was only just a one-on-one match. But you see, it was a situation that did not require a world title to be on the line that night because of the status that John Cena and Batista had. They didn't need a world title to have a feud. Well, that's the same thing with Bianca Belair and Charlotte. They're at that point in their careers where they don't need a title to have a feud. The 2 names speak for itself. So only because they have put so much focus on Charlotte and Bianca, I see a situation where Asuka sneaks the victory. I don't know how she does it. She probably blows the mist in Charlotte's face where Bianca rolls one of them up. Or Charlotte lays out Bianca with a finisher. Asuka throws her out or misses or, blows the mist in Charlotte and then pins Bianca and gets the victory. Asuka's going to retain because if you're building up to a one-on-one match with Bianca and Charlotte, they do not need the title. They don't. Now, if you remember, I want to take you back to a promo that was cut between Charlotte and Bianca from SmackDown, I believe last month. And I think it was on the Grayson Waller show, where Charlotte challenged Bianca saying, "Are you really the woman without the title?" I don't know how she worded it, but I believe she said something to the effect of, are you big enough, or are you the woman without the title? Like, who are you without the title, basically? And insinuating that are you bigger than the title? Like, are you that good without wearing the championship, without being called a champion? Are you basically a champion without being the champion? Because that's what Charlotte sees herself as. She's the champion without being the champion. She wants to know if Bianca was on that same level as her. And I think she is. So I see Asuka retaining. We got to give Asuka a better run. We got to do a better job booking Asuka. She needs to be more important. She's your women's champion. And I think it's embarrassing for them to treat her like an afterthought. But I get why they're doing it. It's probably done by design to make people think that Asuka will lose and Bianca and Charlotte will win, either one of the two. But they'll probably surprise us by having Asuka win, right? To kind of catch the fans off guard, because they're conditioning the fans to think that Bianca or Charlotte is going to win. Asuka doesn't stand a chance, right? Because she's like the third wheel. She's being presented as someone that doesn't really matter. That's not on the same level as Bianca or Charlotte, right? Now, I think individually between Asuka and Bianca, I think they have better chemistry. Asuka and Bianca alone have better chemistry in the ring, I feel like. Not promos, but like match-wise. Asuka and Charlotte, their match on SmackDown wasn't really that good, from what I remember. It just wasn't clicking that night. They could definitely put on bangers. But this triple threat, man, I can definitely see it stealing the show. Being one of the best matches of the night. But honestly, like, aside from the Battle Royal, these matches have the potential to steal the show. Like, all these matches could be match of the year candidate. And that's really good. On the surface, these matches are very hard to predict because there seems to be more emphasis, more importance on these matches going into SummerSlam, because usually SummerSlams of the past, you know, like during the whole like WWE Network era, where we had like 12, 13 matches on SummerSlam. And the matches that were on SummerSlam of those years, they didn't really matter because, like, you had too many matches to book and you had to really, like, fill in time properly. Like, you had to really manage the time properly for each match, right? And every match wasn't going to be able to shine because of time restraints, because there's so many matches on the card. Well, in this situation, you have about 7, 8 matches, which is how a pay-per-view should be. Because having 6 or 7 matches on a pay-per-view, it gives each match time to tell a story. It gives each match time to really, you know, sell the crowd on it, right? To steal the show, you know. Every match has to rush for the sake of saving time because you have too many matches booked. So I think this format is a lot wiser going forward. Not everybody's going to make it on the card. I don't care how talented you are. Not everybody's going to make it on the card. You know? That's just the way it is. But Asuka, she gets the W, and we move on to Drew McIntyre versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Gunther is so close to breaking the Honky Tonk Man's, you know, Intercontinental title reign. I believe he'll break the record, I believe, sometime in September. Not sure when, but I believe he's a month away from breaking that record. And you know how the WWE is with records. They love to have their champions that are on the cups or breaking a record. They'll usually have them break the record just because. But in this case, Gunther should break the record. Like, I can't. There's really not a lot of like bad that I can say about Gunther. Like, he's one of the best right now. Like, that guy is legit. Gunther right now, he's it. He's one of the few guys that could transition from mid-card to main event player within a month. Because if he loses the Intercontinental Championship, guess what? He's going to be in that main event scene very quick. That transition will be very quick. There's no regressing. There's no going back to the drawing board. No, he's going straight to the main event. It was tradition back in the day where an Intercontinental Champion would lose the belt and then they would go on to chase the world title. They would go on to pursue the world championship, right? That would be their next goal. Okay, I became Intercontinental Champion. I had my run with it. I lost, but you know what? I have another goal in winning the WWE Championship, the main belt. I'm going after that. You know, that's kind of where I see Gunther right now. And he's one of the few guys as Intercontinental Champion to like make that belt mean something. And when he loses it, it's only going to actually help him. It's not going to hurt him. It's going to actually give him more momentum now. Because the natural step is to go after the world championship. That's the next step for Gunther. But do I see him losing to Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam? No. Drew McIntyre doesn't need the Intercontinental Championship. I believe it would be a good moment for him to win the championship in front of fans. He never got to have that special moment where he won the world title, right, in front of the fans. You know, he won it in an empty arena twice. And that was very hard for Drew McIntyre. Like, that was something that killed him inside. But I give him a lot of credit, man, because he really was a soldier for that company through the whole pandemic season. Like, when there was no crowds, there was no fans, I thought Drew McIntyre was on point as the WWE champion. Like, he did a very good job carrying the Raw brand, you know, doing his thing. You know, I thought he really showed up. And I wish during his reign there was fans, because I really think that he would have been very popular as the WWE champion. I really believe that. Because if you remember, Drew McIntyre was very hot going into WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar. The fans were on his side. They were effing with Drew McIntyre. I feel like ever since he lost to Roman, he has kind of lost the fans a little bit. He's lost a lot of steam, you know? And I expect nothing less from this match. This is going to be a banger. These two are going to have the same type of match that Gunther and Sheamus had at Clash at the Castle. There's going to be a lot of chops. These guys are going to stiff one another. I can just see it now. Two bruiserweights, two bruisers, two heavyweights clashing, going at it. You know, I can't wait for this match personally, right? But I see Gunther retaining. He benefits more from a win than Drew McIntyre. And on top of that, Drew McIntyre hasn't really been on Raw as of late. I think he missed this Raw a couple Raws before SummerSlam. Gunther has been on every Raw. He's been consistent. Gunther has been killing it. You know, he is legitimately one of your most dominant champions in history right now. Behind Roman Reigns, he's very dominant, man. Like, I buy into Gunther. Like, if I had to show my friends for the first time, if they never watched wrestling a day in their life, and I wanted to sell them on wrestling, the first wrestler that I would show them, the first match would be a Gunther match. I would tell them, go watch this match with Gunther versus such and such. I guarantee you they will be sold. They'll be like, oh my God, this guy's legit. His chops are devastating. This guy's a monster. Like, he's dominant. Like, this guy's legit, man. You know? That's what they would say about Gunther. He makes this look legit. And that's what I like about Gunther. Every time he's in that ring, it's like I'm looking at a fight. Right? A professional wrestling match, a clinic. He makes it look legit. You know, he pulls no punches. You know, it's all business. It's all business. So that's why I'm a fan of Gunther, because he just makes this look real, man. You know? So Gunther is definitely getting the win here. This should be a great match. I think he should beat Drew McIntyre clean, because that's only going to catapult Gunther to the next level. If we're going to buy Gunther as a world title contender and as a world champion, he has to beat a former WWE champion in Drew McIntyre. You know, it makes a lot of sense, right? Have a guy that you're primed, that you're trying to, you know, groom for a world title reign. What better way to do that than to have him be a former world champion, Drew McIntyre? So it just makes sense logically. Gunther gets the win. Moving on to the World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor. 7 years in the making. This could be another classic, no doubt. And these two guys are the best in the world. 7 years ago, Finn Balor, it looked like he was going to be that guy, the guy, it seemed like. He won the Universal Championship, became the first Universal Champion. He beat Seth Rollins. But one buckle bomb to the barricade is pretty much what spelled the end of Finn Balor's, you know, his whole position as the top guy. I mean, honestly, it ended before it could actually begin. And that's the sad thing about it. Like, yeah, he was going to be in that spot, but it ended before it could even begin. And then once he came back, he never got a Universal title match. He never got to face Brock Lesnar. I mean, he did, but it was like much, much later. Like a year later, he got that shot. But like at that time, by that time, his momentum was already shut. His momentum was dead by that time. So there was no recovering. Once he came back, he lost all that momentum. One stiff blow from Jinder Mahal, of all people, to Finn Balor. Vince McMahon was like, yep, that's not our guy. Month later, if you remember correctly, if you remember, I don't know if you guys can remember this, but there was this one Raw match with Jinder Mahal versus Finn Balor. Go back and watch it. During the match, Jinder Mahal gave him a stiff blow. legitimately knocked him out. A month later, the modern day Maharaja is your new WWE champion. A month later. Ain't that wild? That was some crazy, crazy-ish. And then Finn Balor was never the same ever again. Up until now. Vince, it was like, nope, that's not our guy. I'm glad we didn't give him that spot. But 7 years later, I believe Judgment Day has definitely renewed Finn Balor's career. Judgment Day has done wonders for Finn Balor's career. And this whole story of, you took away my spot, you injured me, you took away my run, and you put me on the shelf. And I have this hatred towards you because, I was the guy, and then you messed it all up for me. At Money in the Bank, their match was okay. It just they didn't give them enough time. But I guess because they wanted Damian Priest to tease a cash in, to kind of tease tension with Finn and Damian Priest, right? They wanted to kind of throw that in there just to kind of, get Finn Balor off his game, right? Storyline wise, to get him, unfocused. Like, oh snap, my own teammate is about to cash in, become world champion, not me. Like, I can't allow this to happen, right? But at SummerSlam, I do believe that they're going to have a longer match, and I do see Finn Balor getting the 1, 2, 3. And I think at this point, we need to give Finn Balor what he is owed. I'm being serious, because Finn Balor, he's been through hell and back when it comes to the main roster. He has taken a lot of L's. He has had a lot of embarrassing moments, aka that, that accident, that buckle bomb accident, just miraculously fell off out of nowhere. That was like the beginning of the end for Finn Balor. Him losing the Edge at WrestleMania. I believe he should have won that match. The guy has been through a lot. He's had a lot of start, stop pushes in his career. And ultimately, that's what really Okay, sorry about that, guys. It seems that my StreamYard just crashed. My internet connection crashed, and I lost connection. Um, Seems to be back in order. So yeah, let's continue. Let's continue on with the predictions. Um, Talking Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. So I can see Finn Balor, taking the win here, giving him giving him the world championship. And I'm also hearing that Seth Rollins may be dealing with a back injury. Um, through the whole Logan Paul podcast, he revealed that he's been dealing with a back injury since Hell in a Cell last year. So he could drop the belt to Finn Balor and then take some time off and heal, get better, get stronger. Because at the end of the day, like, we don't got to give Seth Rollins a long title reign. He can always win it back. Right now, it's the Judgment Day's time. Because if we want to make Judgment Day the successor of the Bloodline, we got to give all members a championship. And then I think it's also good storytelling as well, good TV, I should say. Whenever Finn Balor is walking out with the world championship, he is looking over to the side, watching Damian Priest closely, wondering and acting paranoid, like, okay, when is this guy going to cash in? When is he going to try to cash in on me? You know what I'm saying? I got to watch out for my own tag partner because he might try to pull a fast one and cash in. He's always going to be looking over his shoulder of Damian Priest with that briefcase in his hand. So that would be very interesting too. But we should give the Judgment Day all of the belts. I don't know if we give Damian Priest the Intercontinental Championship, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Personally, I think Dom and Damian Priest should be the Undisputed Tag Team Champions. We're going to give Dom 2 belts. Sami Zayn doesn't have Kevin Owens right now. Kevin Owens is out with an injury, so I guess we should just pull the trigger on that and give Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio the tag team belts. At this point, why not? So I expect nothing less from this match. This should be a classic. They're going to be given a lot more time. But I see Finn Balor decisively winning. No dusty finish, no interference, no Judgment Day. Finn wins clean. End of story. And Seth Rollins most likely takes a break. So moving on to the Battle Royal. Because I almost forgot to cover the Battle Royal. Predict that one. So this is a Slim Jim Battle Royal, I believe. And we don't know all the competitors in the match. I don't know if this is going to be a 20-man Battle Royal or a 30-man. Most likely a 20-man Battle Royal. We know LA Knight's in it. Sheamus, Tommaso Ciampa, Shinsuke Nakamura, and that's about it. There should be stakes for this Battle Royal where the winner earns a title shot, right? But I really don't care about this Battle Royal. I don't see the whole point of it. To be honest, this is just throwaway to me. If I had to predict who was going to win, obviously LA Knight, because we got to capitalize on his recent popularity. And he should have won, he should be facing Austin Theory for the U.S. title at SummerSlam. You know, that would have been a great moment for him to win the U.S. title, to win a mid card. You know, right now we got to really build up LA Knight. Like if that's what the fans want, then they have to adhere to their wishes and start building LA Knight up to make him a serious contender, right? He needs to start winning more matches because, yes, he may be popular and all that stuff, but like and a top merch seller, but he can't keep on losing. He gotta start racking up some W's and fast. So he's my clear winner of the Battle Royal just because we gotta start building LA Knight up. It makes no sense for anybody else to win. Because what do they gain from winning? Sheamus could win, but what will he gain from winning? And I'm going to talk about Sheamus in a separate discussion because I got a lot to say about his situation right now. His situation at a later time. So I'll get to that at another date. But Shinsuke wins. Like, what does that do for him? Tommaso wins. What does that do for Tommaso? If a Johnny Gargano wins, what does that do for Johnny Gargano? Or a Bronson Reed if he wins? LA Knight has more to gain for winning this battle royal. From winning this battle royal. Because now he has more momentum on his side. And now you made the fans happy, right? And that's the most important thing when it comes to a business and its customers is to make the customers, I should say, happy. If you don't got happy customers, then they're not going to show back up to your business. They're not going to come back and buy products or items from this store ever again because you failed to make them happy, right? Happy customers brings in more customers. It's more success for the business. So just give LA Knight the damn victory and move on. Like, why are we playing games with LA Knight? Like, enough of this whole teasing us with LA Knight. You give him a promo, you have him cut a promo, you put him in all these like qualifying matches, and he doesn't win. Oh, we're gonna put him in a battle royal, make you believe that he can win, that he will win, and he doesn't win. So let's stop playing games already and just push the damn guy. He does not have to be in the main event scene. In fact, I don't even want him in the main event scene because there's no room for an LA Knight in the main event scene right now. There's no room. There's too much going on in the main event spotlight. So where he belongs right now is the mid card, the U.S. title scene right now. And that scene is looking very, very murky right now with Austin Theory. It's boring. So let's spice it up a little bit by having LA Knight, someone that's actually charismatic, someone that the fans actually care about, that they like, have him be the U.S. champion. So now you have 4 champions that the fans actually care about. And LA Knight, Roman Reigns, Gunther, Seth Rollins, soon to be Finn Balor. So LA Knight wins Battle Royal. Moving on to the main event. Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns, the undisputed Universal Championship. So I said in a previous discussion that why Jey Uso should be the one to end Roman Reigns' run as champion, right? Now, when I think about the aftermath, first of all, Jey Uso winning would be a great moment. It would be huge. But I'm starting to backtrack on my prediction with Jey Uso winning the belt. I don't think he should win. Now, it would be a Mankind type of moment if he were to beat Roman Reigns. But let's be honest, Jey Uso as the undisputed Universal Champion, it would quickly wear off, because unless he's feuding with Sikoa, or Roman, then no one's really going to care. Can you imagine building up a Universal Championship feud with Jey Uso and Karrion Kross? I'm sorry, but nobody would get excited for that. No one will get excited for Jey Uso versus Austin Theory. No one. No one's going to get excited for Jey Uso versus Bobby Lashley. That just it just doesn't fit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if Jey Uso beats Roman Reigns, that's a huge deal. A guy that beats Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, he's instantly the top guy. He is the top guy. He's above Seth Rollins. He's above Cody Rhodes. Now above Roman Reigns. Do you think Jey Uso is that guy? In all honesty, like, putting aside the bloodline storyline, is Jey Uso really the guy? Now, don't get it twisted. The last 3 years, Jey Uso has really made a name for himself. Like, this is the one storyline that has made Jey Uso a definitive main event player. This has definitely, like, this will be looked upon as, like, the one storyline that made Jey Uso, like, very popular, I should say. And, like, this is almost like a Hall of Fame type of career now for Jey Uso going forward. That's how good this storyline was. But by all means, is he really the guy to carry the company as your undisputed champion? No, he's not. He's a tag team wrestler, but can he be, but, you know, is he capable of being a singles act? Sure. But on the level of Roman Reigns, I don't think so. Now, if they were to give him the title, it will most likely be for a month. He would drop it back to Roman, right? Or I could see him facing Solo for it, and fans would be interested in that because of the family dynamic, the Samoan dynasty, right? I would be very intrigued to see Jey Uso and Solo fight for that belt if Jey were to win at Payback. Roman takes a little break, get himself together, then he comes back and beats Jey Uso at, I guess, Fastlane or Survivor Series, whatever. But ultimately, Roman Reigns should retain and get to WrestleMania 40 against Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns is the definitive guy. And whoever beats Roman Reigns, they are the guy. They are that guy. The guy. They take his place. And I don't think it's Jey Uso. Now, Jey Uso already beat Roman Reigns. So the cat is pretty much out the bag when it comes to Oh, who's going to be the first one to pin Roman Reigns after 3 years? Jey Uso already did it. Jey Uso already did it. But whoever ends his historic title reign, that's the guy now. But I think we have a lot more to get out of Roman Reigns before he loses to Cody next year. So Roman Reigns retains, you know, because honestly, he's a safe bet. And they're sticking to what works. And Roman Reigns, right now, he works. Roman Reigns is still hot. He's still one of the hottest acts in wrestling. Let's not forget about that. The man has reinvented himself to a T, to the max. So they're definitely not ready to have him lose that belt yet. They're not ready. And this is a tribal combat match. So anything goes. And I believe the rules are that no member of the Samoan dynasty could interfere. So do I see interference taking place? Maybe. I don't know how this match is going to play out because, like I said earlier, I want to view this as a fan, not as someone that's like this raging mark, right? This like, wrestling purist. No, I just want to look at this as a fan, watch it as a fan, and be entertained and be surprised. At the end of the day, we're all fans of this. So, I'm not going to put much more thought into these matches, into these predictions, and, to the outcomes and what can happen, who's in return. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to wait and see and watch to see what happens. So I think this year's SummerSlam should be very good. It looks promising. The card looks promising. So let's see what's in store. So with that being said, thank you all for watching, staying tuned. Make sure you like the video for the algorithm. This is the Rational Wrestling Mark. If you guys stay throughout this entire wrestling talk, these predictions, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And make sure you subscribe today for more content. Thank you all for watching, and I'm out. Peace.